Welcome back to Broker Talk. Thank you for watching. I'm Larry Lawfer, your host each week, bringing you a special guest who delivers insight into their unique skills. We talk a lot about luxury on Broker Talk. What is luxury? How do you win luxury listings? How do you sell luxury listings? And what are the most important skills to have to be welcome into the luxury world? The answer will surprise you, and it has nothing to do with money or clothes. Our guest today has sold the first single family home over $100 million dollars in U.S. history. She's been named as America's top 250 real estate professionals and then the top 100 agents in the U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. She's a Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author of the book Success Mindset and Luxury Home Selling Mastery. She's also in the top 40 most influential businesswomen by the Business Journal. I'm thrilled to welcome back Catherine Bassick of Bassick Advisors. I see you have a new name on your wall, Catherine. Can you tell us about Forbes Global Properties?
Yes. Forbes Global Properties started last year, about a year and a half ago, actually. And it started by Jeff Highland, who's with Hilton Highland and Forbes Magazine, and Alex Lang. And they set out to create the greatest network, invitation only, in the best markets and with the highest caliber of brokers and agents. And most of all the other brokerages under the Forbes brand are all independent agents. We are with EXP, and we are very clear that Bassick Advisors is under EXP, that we are exclusive partners for the whole state of Massachusetts with Forbes Global Properties. That also includes Cape Cod and the islands. And it feels funny to say that, but if you don't say that, people think, oh, well, only Massachusetts.
I love the Cape and the islands. I was married on Martha's Vineyard many years ago. You know,
Oh, nice. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's a fantastic place. Um,
So I'm honored to be a part of that, storied brand. And as a result of that, we have had every single one of our listings over $2 million written about and has appeared on Forbes.com. I've been quoted in the Forbes magazine, the billionaire list. You just can't buy that kind of advertising. So,
right.
and we're exclusive. So we feel like we're in a really great position to succeed.
So there is no other Forbes property group in Massachusetts. You're the only one.
Yes, this is
Wow,
correct.
wow, that's
And
amazing.
and there's so many great brokerages,
Oh yeah,
independent brokerages in the state, and I feel lucky that out of everybody they picked us. So
yeah. I think one of the absolute wonderful things about eXp Realty is they allow that. There are many brokerages that wouldn't allow you to align with another property like this.
no, and that's why I joined EXP in the beginning, was that I was able to be myself, create my own brand, create an exclusive luxury brand. And for all intents and purposes, I look at EXP as they are my vendor. They do all my legal, accounting, etc., and compliance and bill paying, all of that. And the best technology I've ever seen in the industry.
Yeah.
And I'm an engineer by background. I think we talked about that before. And with that, I was able to establish this and then also be able to create this partnership, but more importantly, create a brand that I feel really transcends luxury to the next level. In the past, I think people have gone to Sotheby's, Christie's, the auction houses, and I look at them and I think they're great. But that's kind of like the doily luxury. Like I was with Sotheby's for 16 years and Christie's for 2 years, and they do a great job with marketing, but we never really got any leads from the actual auction houses. They're very, very separate.
Separate entities.
Nothing a lot, they don't even
Yeah.
communicate with each other. So with Forbes, we actually are, part of the magazine. and we are very integral part of the whole real estate world. And when you think about the Forbes hotels and all of everything is just super high end. And I think that today luxury is found through media. And so this was just a really no brainer for us as far as a partnership.
Sure. Well, both of us are part of the Luxury Home Marketing Guild,
Yes.
and working at the highest level of that. And I'm curious because I know that there are luxury agents here. How, whoop, there you
I
go.
apologize. I should have done the do not disturb, but go ahead.
You know, that's the coast calling with another $100 million property.
I say, unless it's 200 million, I can't handle it. Sorry. I can't.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but let's talk about how you break into luxury. But first, I kind of teased this at the very beginning of the show. What is the most important skill to have? And it's not clothing or money to have to break in.
Yes. And clothing definitely does play a part in this, and I can go through that a little bit. But I find that one of the reasons that I have been so successful in dealing with high net worth individuals, I've sold houses to 9 billionaires. I've done a transaction with 9 billion. I've represented a buyer or sell with 9 billionaires as my client. And I have to say, I'm very lucky because my parents made sure that we had great manners. And I can tell you that having proper manners will be your entry ticket to the luxury market. It's just so easy to overlook that because you
Right.
think, well, what does mom know? They know a lot. And that's why it's always been a thing. And what I tell my children as well, and I also tell my team, you don't have to be the smartest, you don't have to be the richest, you don't have to be the most attractive. You have, if you have good manners, it takes you a really, really long
Right.
way.
Right.
Um, and anybody who plays golf, will know that when you play golf, if you're playing, you don't have to be that great, but know the rules, follow the etiquette, and you are going to get invited back to play, and people will want to play with you. I have golf with people who um, get a bad shot and they throw their club and all of that. It's like, guess what? Nobody cares but you. So don't worry about it. Um, so I just think, there's some things that are very basic in etiquette when we're dealing with anything, but specifically in real estate. I think when you are a newer agent and you want to break in, or even if you're a seasoned agent and you think, well, I didn't grow up that way, I don't have the nice car or whatever. I would say your first lesson in etiquette should be to be yourself. Be yourself, your authentic self. God created you, and you are the only one who's you on the whole planet. And there's a reason for that. And there's a reason why you are here. So when you're yourself, you are allowing others to treat you with the respect that you want to be treated with. And then they know that you will also treat them with the respect that they deserve to be
Right.
treated with.
Right.
Um,
Right. I've
so
always said that when you're a luxury agent, your client is never going to yell at you. You'll hear from a lawyer if it's bad, but they're never going to yell at you. It's like being behind the velvet rope. First of all, you have to know how to act when you're back there, and good manners is surprising to a lot of people. But you go to these events, everybody has good manners. They're polite to each other. They listen. They are. It's not crass conversation.
they also they're very generous
Right.
with their gratitude. They say
Right.
thank you.
Right.
And also they give genuine compliments. That
Right.
is a big thing about having good manners. Don't be Eddie Haskell. Don't be genuine.
Yeah.
And if you have to, uh, if you feel like you have nothing, well, you know what they used to say, if you have nothing good to say, come here and sit next to me.
That was Mae West, right?
Yes.
Or
Love that.
someone like that. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so you can be complimentary and without seeming vapid. Uh, and another, great thing is really don't discuss politics. Even if you're in a political event, don't discuss it because you don't know what they're thinking. And here they may have been thinking one way, but maybe they have switched. You're much better off just, again, listening, and they'll think you're the most interesting person in the whole planet.
People want
Also,
to talk
don't
about
be,
themselves.
yes. And we all think everyone's looking at us and they think, and we're like, what are they thinking? Believe me, folks, nobody's thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves and what they have on and how they appear. They are not thinking about you. So just let that go. You don't
Right,
have to carry that burden.
right, right. Well, the language of luxury is also really important. You need to understand high-end products. The people who are luxury people get luxury magazines. They go to luxury hotels. They eat in luxury restaurants. So they put specialized things into their homes that they love. So, how much of that study did you have to do, or is it just the circle that you're in? You're always seeing, the newest stove, the newest refrigerator.
Um, Believe it or not, I was into architectural magazines since I was maybe 13 years old. And I would look at the different decor and all of that. Why I thought that was a thing, I don't know. But I enjoyed that. I enjoy beautiful things and I like to surround myself with beautiful things. When I find myself at an event or at someone's home, um, and I see that they're using something and I like it and I'm drawn to it, I go, what is that? And I'll, I'm not necessarily going to ask my host, what it is, but I'll just keep like a mental thing on that and know that that's good. Like I'll realize, oh, something smells really good here. What is it? And then I will find that out. So the other thing is you don't want to be boastful. Like, oh, well, I drive a Bentley. Nobody cares again. And don't be arrogant or loud. People will say a lot much nicer things about you than you can ever say for yourself. And when other people say it, it's much more important. So even when you're speaking with clients, it's so sometimes I think people think, oh, I need to let them know how great I am because I want them to use me. If you are really that great, it's just going to come out naturally in a conversation. And and if you have to talk about it that much, it might even give them pause to think, why is this person trying so
Right,
hard? I thought I invited a professional luxury agent to my home.
right,
Um, but they sound like that they aren't, really used to this. And then
right,
they're just talking about
right,
how great
right.
they are. And so I'm
Th-
not
th-
really
th-
sure about that.
that's not just luxury. That's all agents. Agents often are constantly promoting politicians too. I mean, there's like, look at me, I'm the best. You didn't realize I'm always right. I'm the only one that can fix something. Um, you don't really have to
And
say that.
speaking about that, like how many times, and this goes to all the agents out there, have we said something and it was 100% right? And then the person comes back to you and tells you exact same thing as if they came up with it and it was their idea. Don't say, oh, I thought about that. I told you that before. You don't need to. Everybody knows. Just say, I know. Isn't that fantastic? So,
Yeah. Oh, good. That's excellent. Thank you for that.
you know what
Um,
I mean? Like so often you just
yeah.
want to say so loud, yes, that's what I've been saying all along.
Right,
But
right. Well,
yeah,
it's equivalent to those people that say, "Do you don't know who I am, or do you know who I am?" The minute you have to say that, they actually don't know who you are, or they know and they
I say
don't
it as a
care.
joke. Oh my gosh, I do say that, but I say it as a joke. I even have a mug that says, I'm kind of a big deal. When you can say those things, I think people who can say those things don't really think that. They just, it's
It's
just all tongue
funny.
in cheek. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun.
it's funny.
And just
Yeah.
remember that, not you, but people out there, it's funny. It's supposed to be funny. It's not like, don't take yourself so seriously. So loud is another thing. People, I find, now I've dealt with like a lot of musicians and technology people, very, very wealthy. They're very sensitive to
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
Speak properly, speak, try
Right.
to speak from your gut, by the way, because that, take singing lessons if you have to. It's a really good idea. I should do that. Anyway, but don't speak too loud. Don't overpower. Um, don't be the alpha.
Right. Right. Be the
You're there to
conf
serve.
be the confident one. Be the one
Yes.
that people want on your team.
Advisor. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And those people, unless you're a trial lawyer, you don't have to do that. And
Divorce
then the
lawyer.
other thing and just listen before speaking. Really listen.
Right.
Sometimes, and I have this too, I get so excited with what someone is saying is that I just want to say, add the one thing. Um, but you don't know where they're going with that story.
Yeah.
So just wait, listen to whatever it is that they're going to say,
Yeah.
and then you can chime in with your um, 2 cents.
I do it. Excuse me. I do an accountability. I've done this as long as I've been in real estate and before in all my others. I talk to somebody in the morning to get myself kicked off. And the person that I'm actually doing that half hour accountability with in the morning is from Missouri. As I said, I
Oh,
choose different people from around the country because, you know, because you get to learn more the more you talk to them. But we are so completely opposite as people in the way that we live and our background and everything. But he's as genuine as you could imagine. And very salt of the earth kind of person. I like talking to people like that because it's unfiltered. It's just truth. And it feels good. Here in the Northeast, we have a bit of a veneer on. And so it takes a little bit to get through that. Whereas in other parts of the country, what you see is what you get.
yes. And over here too, we have um, people might have the veneer, but once you get past that veneer, you get the what you see is what you get, and more than you even want.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like,
Right. Right. I've
and so you gave me a good thought when going right back to manners. People will text you, your clients will text you at 10, 11 at night or 6, 7 in the morning. Um, and don't feel like you have to reply to every text just because someone sends it to you. You might say something that you're going to really regret later. Don't do it. I like your idea, Larry, about an accountability call, because if you have your accountability call in the morning, and I don't do this, but I like that, then you are free to go about your day and answer people in the way that you would answer them. That's Larry's way, not that I just woke up and I got to tell this person that they're, you know, full of shit. um,
we do that for each other. You know, it's like what happened yesterday. That's always the way we started, and we know each other. The deals that are in our pipeline. So what happened with that farm deal? What's going on with um, your investor? And it allows us to kind of vent uh, in a professional way because it's just the two of us. And
and
then you,
um, there's like no ulterior motive, I guess is what I'm saying, because they're not going to scold you. Oh, Larry, why would you do that? Whatever. I just think that having someone like that around is great because they're not vested in the outcome. They're vested in your success
in our relationship, yes, and
and
the
your
success of
relationship.
that. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
agreed.
I highly recommend that. There's always, social media. Find someone that is doing a little bit better than you, and spend time with that person. Um, that's all I say. People move around in this business all the time, and it's really not about the best cap or the best, percentage. It's about the best people. Find a
Mhm.
place where the best people are that make you think, that give you ideas, help you with answers. Um, and I found this brokerage that we're both part of now to be such a place. Um,
We rewarded for being for
right,
what we do,
right,
and we're not taken advantage of. And it goes back to we're being shown respect,
right, right. It's
and
a
we're able to be authentic.
Yeah, it's professionals being professional, and
Yes,
there's a lot of less than that in our industry, um, because the amount of training that it takes is not significant. Uh, to get uh, a sales license, not a realtor sale, to get a sales license in Massachusetts, it's 40 hours of study. That's 1 week of work. And you are responsible for millions of dollars worth of your client's assets. Uh, wow, that's not very much.
it's not. It's crazy to me. So I moved here from California, and California, the lawyers don't do the transactions. The lawyers are just not involved. So it's basically you, um, and then the escrow company and the title company.
Right,
And and you do a lot of negotiations, but it takes 3 months to get your license,
right.
and at least 6 months to have it in your hot little hand. So um, yeah, so I do like that, and I think that's why it's good to be a broker. You learn more, you're more accountable, and people really know that you have a lot more education
I always like the
than the 40 weeks.
right, right. One of my favorite phrases in the industry is, you get someone who calls you up and they're irate and they're just out of control. And they said, "Never in my life have I ever had this experience." And I'm thinking, never in my life have I not had an odd experience in real estate. It's always new and very different things related to the
Yes,
emotions and the transaction. So
yes.
chill out. Let's figure it out.
And with that goes right again, perfect. Another etiquette point: chill out, figure it out. That's
Yeah,
what smart people do that have good
right,
manners and they have proper etiquette. They also speak with kindness,
right,
and they don't criticize, and they don't complain.
right,
And how many people do we know that, like today, it is a gorgeous day, but somehow they'll find some negativity, and I have found that I can't associate with people like that because
right,
it's just too difficult.
right.
Uh,
It sucks the life out of you.
yeah, you're taking that energy into your body, and
Right.
that just doesn't work. So,
Yeah. Be around positive people, be around smart people, be around people who are doing things, who are interesting, and be interesting yourself. I mean,
yes,
our what we have to know is pretty incredible. It's zoning, it's building, it's electric, it's plumbing, it's luxury devices, it's security, it's the emotions of all of it. It goes on and on and on, and you have to be a real student. And I think as a real estate agent, you have to be somewhat of an educator when you're talking to your clients.
I think that's why teachers make such good brokers,
Yeah.
because they know how to explain things in detail. And we do this all the time, and they don't. They
Right.
could be worth $1 billion, but this is not what they do. So we really have to explain everything. So with my team, what we do is we have an exhaustive list of what we put down, every single thing that could potentially, be happening when you are, let's say they make an offer and it's accepted. This is what we're going to be doing for the next week or so. And like really exhaustive, because um, what creates anxiety? The unknown,
Yeah.
feeling like you just don't have that solid.
Right.
Uh, and so creating that list, making it, really nice, and then sending that to your client. Say, listen,
Yeah.
now that we are
Yeah.
in this, I want you to know this is what we're going to be doing for the next I don't know, throughout
Right.
the sales process. And then vice versa, when you get a listing, again, it shocks me how many times agents just put something on the market and you see the person all the time and then you don't see them that much. But again, exhaustive list. Once you've signed
Right.
that listing agreement, what's
Right.
going to happen? Are you going to be doing, an inspection, a pre-inspection, um, and the photography, what they need to do, what their job is for that, what your job is for that. Um, and going through the whole thing. And now you don't have to go through your marketing at this point because you've done that already. You got the listing, but do let them know about things that will involve them. Like if you're going to do an open house, a
Right.
broker tour, an event at their home, that sort of thing. You should absolutely have a very exhaustive list. Then when they get into contract, same thing. This is what's going to happen. The buyer's
Yeah.
going to want an inspection, blah, blah, blah. We do this all the time. We're like, okay, whatever. But you know what? This is not what they do.
No.
All they know how to do is find properties on Zillow and everything. This is where we come in
Right.
and we add our special sauce and we are able to take them and then this and explain a very complex situation in really nice terms and let them really know
Right.
that we are there the whole step of the way
Right.
and that we are not going to leave them alone. One of the things I tell my clients, um, especially on listings, and they have asked me, should we be worried right now? And I'll say, no, you don't worry till I tell you to worry. When I tell you we worry, then we're going to worry. But right now we are just fine. I'll be the first one to say we need to start worrying.
Well,
Uh,
that's another truism in real estate. We often, because we're sympathetic, some of us are empathetic, we will get a sense of what someone's thinking. But
yes,
but how many times have you been thinking something like that? They've been indicating something, but when you ask them, they say something different. I say don't worry until it's time to worry and ask people questions.
yes. How are you going to know unless you
Yeah.
ask the questions? So
Yeah.
that's like really, and then when you ask the questions and then they are worried, um, offer to help.
Yeah.
We have so many resources
Yeah.
as luxury realtors. And by the way, if you want to get into this business, into the luxury portion of this, and by the way, it's very nice place to be. I will not lie. um, but if this is what you want to do, you must develop those resources.
Yeah.
We have the Bassick Concierge Service on our website, BassickAdvisors.com. We have the Bassick Concierge Service. It's a 24/7 white glove service. And so
Right.
what we do is, what is it that you need? Do you need a driver? Do you need a housekeeper? Do you need someone to fix a leak? Do you need help with somebody like your mother who happens to maybe live in Arizona and we need to go help her somehow? We should have the resource for everything. And that's the other great thing about EXP is we actually have access to our whole network and say,
Right.
one of my clients, they really need help here with their mom who might need to go to the hospital. Can you help? And they'll do it, won't they,
Yeah.
Larry? Like our
Yeah.
people,
Yeah, they
they'll
do.
like they do. They volunteer and they'll do it. It's beautiful. Um, and
Professionals are happy to step up and help you because that
yeah,
makes them feel good, and the expectation is that if they need help, they can call someone. And that happens to be true. If somebody calls me, whether I know them or not, I'm going to make a point. But I wanted to say something about the teachers and educators. I have found, and it may just be anecdotal, but I really like elementary teachers because they usually bring snacks. Now, it might be,
I love it. I love people who bring snacks and bring coffee. I don't, but I want to be that person.
yeah, yeah.
We are always growing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and the other thing about returning texts and emails, you will have clients who don't respect your boundaries. But if you know what your boundaries are and you're clear to them, like after 8 o'clock and before 5 o'clock the next morning, I'm not going to respond because that's my family time. That's when I'm off and all that kind of stuff. But you'll hear from me, at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Or if it's something really critical, I may hear my phone. but people want to know when you're going to get back to them.
That's all they want.
Yeah.
Set the expectations. When are you, again, good manners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody wants to be ghosted, especially by their agent.
Right, right. And but you don't have to be there right lickety split because
No,
uh, uh,
I think that's a mistake trying to be that way.
I people say bizarre stuff to us all the time. I had a luxury listing in Newton. We both know the town, and I was talking to my owner, and we had an open house both on Saturday and Sunday the first week. And luxury doesn't go like non-luxury, because
Yeah.
you have fewer people. So I was talking about doing an open house the next weekend, and um, the owner of the property, she told me, "No, I'm not open all the time. I'm not a French whore." And I thought, "Oh my God, oh my God."
Oh, from the mouth of clients.
I said, "Absolutely, you are not." So anyway,
Oh my gosh. No, people need to understand that we work hard to get those appointments and those open houses.
yeah,
People have to get up, go do something with their children and their
yeah,
pets. Like it's
yeah,
asking a lot. And if they're older, it's even,
yeah,
more problematic. Again, going right back to manners, don't overstep your boundaries.
right.
I just closed a deal yesterday where I represented the buyer and seller on a three
Wow,
and a half million dollar deal.
wow,
Um, and both parties were incredibly demanding. You will find that in luxury real estate, people are very demanding, and you can deal with that if you're demanding yourself. I'm
yeah,
very demanding. I'm no Karen, but I am like demanding. I'm demanding of myself, and I'm demanding around of other people in my service too. And I heard from both. I mean, this was like a really tough deal that had nothing to do with the buyer and nothing to do with the seller. It had to do with the third party. Uh, and sometimes, we don't have any control. Like if it's in a court or this or that or divorce
yeah,
situation, we have no control over that. All we can do at that point is to keep everybody calm to the point where they just don't say, the heck with this, I'm going off
yeah,
and go do something
yeah,
else. The buyer or the seller. The seller could just say, I can't take this anymore, just pull it off the market. So you just need to have that patience and that hand holding capability. And you will see that oftentimes you will be the brunt of their frustration. And you must constantly remind them very kindly that you are doing everything in your power, but there's nothing that you can do that would push a third party to make a move or whatever situation you
right.
find yourself in where you truly don't. And so this went on for 5 months, by the way. Lucky me. Anyway, so yesterday I had both the buyer and the seller individually call me to tell me that they could not believe what a great job I had done for them. And that they both said individually that there was no way this deal would have stayed together if it wasn't for me and my attitude with tough love, kindness, all of those things toward both the buyer and the seller. And just because you have good manners does not mean you can't have tough love. Don't mistake the two.
Yeah, my mother was a very mannered person, but her love was tough. uh,
Yeah,
and
I'm the
uh,
same way.
and consequently, we grew up with that. Catherine, we could talk for hours, and we do at times.
I know, I love it.
Thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Okay, I have one more thing I have to say because I've seen this before, and that's it. Um, Coasters, when you go to someone's home and they offer you a drink, use a coaster, please. That's it.
Well, that's a smart thing. In that kind of situation, I'll never put it on a wood surface. I mean, I was taught that if they have
Yeah.
a coaster, I'll use it. Otherwise,
Or you can ask for one, or
uh,
just hold it. Yeah.
I'll just
Don't put
hold
it
it.
down.
Anyway, there's
And send a thank you note. It takes
handwritten.
nothing. do a handwritten thank you note.
Yeah.
I've ordered these beautiful notes here. I'm going to just show you. Very high end. And that's it. Look how tiny it is. You don't even
Yeah.
have to write a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's it. And you just write a nice little thank you note. And,
Right.
you know,
That looked like
may not get the
a
deal.
crane paper thing.
Yes. I get these from Moo.
Yeah.
They're headquartered right here in Boston area. So,
That's wonderful.
yes.
Again, thank you so much. It's been a great show. Uh, and
My pleasure.
I look forward to seeing you.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Tune in next week for another great show. And thank you so much, Catherine Bassick of Bassick Advisors.
Recording stopped.